Tell me a little bit about your inspiration while you're still playing. You're still playing, and you're already attacking the next chapters of your life. And the first one is, when did you decide to become an author? And who was your biggest? So tell me this: when did you decide? Who's been your biggest champion and advocate to write your story this early on in your life? And tell us the most significant part of the book that you say, hey, this moment alone, this story alone, this chapter alone is a huge reason why people should go out and buy The Silver Spoon, The Imperfect Guide to Success.
So I would say the reason why I decided to write a book, I had just come off my best year in Denver. So I'm getting ready to hit free agency. Chicago comes calling. The Bears come calling. They give me a nice signing bonus. I am now living in the city where my mom is living. I'm now playing in the city where my mom is living. She's just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the stadium. So everything is going well. Everything seems like it's going on the right path. Preseason is going, it's going okay, but I'm one of the only receivers to practice every single day and playing every single preseason game. And then I get a call from the general manager telling me that they were going to release me. So I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm embarrassed, and this has never happened to me before. Like, am I going to get picked up? Like, what's going to happen? So for the next 3 to 4 weeks, I'm at home. So, like, if the NFL doesn't come calling anymore, what's next for me? Mm-hmm. Well, I've had all these incredible stories playing in the NFL, being undrafted, all the things that we achieved at Michigan State. I want to write about that, but I want to write about, I come from Bloomfield Hills, which is the suburbs of Detroit. So I call it Silver Spoon, the Imperfect Guide to Success, because people, they feel if you come from the suburbs or you come from a 2-parent household, or if you're well off, that you don't work as hard. And don't get me wrong, there are some great athlete stories out there, but we only hear about the sad ones. You know, we only hear about how they were looking for their next meal. Well, my life isn't like that, but I work just as hard, if not harder than them. So I want to share the principles that we all have the same 24 hours. So I have a guy like Draymond Green, Darqueze Dennard.
Yep.
Incredible athletes. Darqueze Dennard was, very low recruit, but became a first-round pick. Draymond Green coming from Saginaw, Michigan, to where he is today as a businessman and also as an NBA player. But then I also have some entrepreneurs in there for people to understand whatever you want to do, there are certain principles: goal setting, being disciplined, handling adversity, handling success that you have to be able to do in order to be successful. And when I went to Chicago, I didn't have that vision, or I didn't set those goals because I had felt good about where I was. So I felt like I had climbed the mountain. Like, I'm undrafted. I came off my best year. I got some money in my pocket now. Like, I just signed a 1-year deal for $2 million with Chicago, and, I end up getting cut. So that put me back into undrafted mode. So the New England Patriots come calling. And then now I'm back. I'm playing with a quarterback just like Peyton, who is just as successful, just as smart, and my study habits come back. My diet comes back. Everything gets put back into perspective. So I have to put this back into the book, and I want people to understand, like, I'm not some flawless human. But when you get knocked down, how are you going to get back up? So that's why I decided to write the book, because at those 3 or 4 weeks, it was like, what's next? Well, I want to share stories. I want to do public speaking. I want to tell people not necessarily stories about myself, but the incredible players and people that I've been around and played with. So that's why I chose to write the book. Nobody really patted me on the back and said, oh, yeah, you should write a book, because I wasn't really even telling anybody. This is something that I wanted to do.
Okay.
And I feel like it's, as an athlete, I feel like it's a business card as well. If I want to come speak to a business, well, all right, well, what do you speak on? I speak on handling adversity and handling success, as well as goal setting, team leadership, team culture. But I have a book behind me now, an Amazon bestseller. So I feel like it's a business card as well. It's just something I can say, and it's something that I can give back to the world. And I dedicated the book to my brother, because he's my hero after everything that he's been through, 6 knee surgeries before he was 17, and he wanted to be an NBA player. And he didn't give up on his dream. He had to go to prep school. He ends up going to Central Michigan, being a 3-time captain, setting the all-time assist record because he didn't give up. So now that's also the reason why I play, and I'll never give up on anything. The fact that he did all that at so young, he tore his ACL 3 times before graduating high school, and was able to persevere through all of that. And now is a graduate, just graduated, got his master's from Michigan State, and was on the coaching staff there, and now just got a new job at Northern Arizona, where he's an assistant coach now. But I dedicated the book to him. But the most important chapter in the book to me, especially for young people and young kids and student athletes, is that you don't have to be an athlete to make $1 million. And that's one of the things my dad taught me, growing up. Once he came back here and he was the vice president of Ford around 2008, around 2006, he moved back to Michigan from London. I got to see him build his dream house in Bloomfield Hills. And he said, look, we down the street we're right around the corner from Ben Wallace. And he was like, we got the same size house. You don't have to be an athlete to make $1 million. Now, that doesn't mean you don't use your talents and your athleticism, but it's also important to get your education. And it's also important to dream big. And if you have some creativity, use it. It doesn't have to be necessarily in sports, but you will have to work hard. So I would say that's the most important chapter.
For more insights from top performers in sports and business, be sure to subscribe to Vision, Hustle, Grit, and Gratitude wherever you get your podcasts. Also, you can follow us on Instagram at Vision, Hustle, Grit, and Gratitude. Until next time, keep doing great things.